Welcome to the CenterPoint podcast, where nursing and law unite. Welcome to the CenterPoint podcast. This is Jackie. I am the owner of CenterPoint Consulting. I am a legal nurse and I work with attorneys on healthcare related matters. This is where nursing and law unite. Today, I have the privilege of speaking with Beth Brant, who is a nurse practitioner with whom I work. Beth came to me about 2 years ago and said, "Hey, I really would like to work with you." And so we have formed a great relationship since that time. Beth works with CenterPoint on various cases, med-mal screenings. She works on some of the personal injury cases as well for CenterPoint. And she also has her own consulting business. And in her own consulting business, she works with criminal defense attorneys as well as prosecutors on criminal cases. So she has a very wide spectrum of cases that she's worked on and a very interesting background. So welcome, Beth.
Thank you for having me, Jackie.
So Beth, give us a little background into how you became a nurse practitioner and what you are doing now clinically and how it affects your practice in the legal nurse consulting world.
I had an accident when I was 15 years old that a lot of hospital time that led me into nursing. During nursing school, I had the opportunity to do a clinical at a school that I actually went to school at. So they offered me a position after I graduated, and I stayed as a school nurse for 24 years while I was also working at an adult hospital. Then just decided I wanted to keep going with my education. I got certified as a school nurse, and then decided I wanted to pursue my master's, which I did concurrently with my pediatric nurse practitioner certification. And then I just kept going. I got 2 postmaster certifications, one in nursing education and one in nursing administration. Became an administrator at the adult hospital I worked at, worked on various units there. And then as I kept going with my education, decided I wanted my doctorate. It was actually a goal of my father's. So when he passed, I decided to keep going and to attain that. And as things kind of progressed, after 24 years of working 2 full-time jobs, and I decided I wanted to work on my retirement plan and kind of ease my way out of working as much as I was. I've always had an interest in law, so decided and had heard a lot about legal nurse consulting, and a friend of mine was doing it, so I decided to do it as well. Took a certification or a certificate course and decided when COVID hit that there was a good time to make the jump. So I made the jump to my own business, started subcontracting for people like yourself. And I was getting a lot of, because of my pediatric background and other experience, I was getting a lot of criminal cases that were child abuse related, neglect related, a lot of Department of or CPS, like Child Protective Services, or DHS cases. So decided that it might be important for me to get some forensic education. So I went back to the hospital that I worked at and became a forensic nurse examiner with them, which is what I do currently clinically, in addition to my business.
Beth, I absolutely love your background. It is so vast, and it is amazing having you work with us at CenterPoint. I do utilize Beth a lot to do med-mal screenings, various cases. She and I work so well together when it comes to putting pieces together of cases. The 2 of us together, our brains just work in tandem with one another. Wouldn't you agree with that, Beth?
Absolutely. We're when I can't get my brain wrapped around something, I can talk to you, and you usually can find that missing piece that helps me wrap my brain around or think a different way that I can find the answer.
So Beth, you approached me about 2 years ago and talk to me a little bit about why you decided that you wanted to work with CenterPoint. And then also, out of all the cases you've done, is there anything that stands out to you that was kind of like an aha moment of, this is great, I've picked the right choice for legal nurse consulting?
With COVID and starting this new venture of mine, I really wasn't sure how to market myself and how to get myself out there. I was looking for opportunities to do some subcontracting and kind of learn some things. We are on a listserv together that I joined to get information and kind of learn more about the business. I liked some of the things that you had to say on the listserv, some of the answers that you were giving to some of the questions. So I reached out. I thought that I could learn a lot from you and working under you or with you. And I have. And I, from the first time we talked, we just kind of clicked and you began trusting me, and you trusted me with a big federal case. That was kind of the big moment that I really realized this is what I wanted to do and that I wanted to work with you. It meant a lot that you trusted me just with my background and not having a lot of legal nurse consulting experience or testifying experience. It was a federal case that I testified in, and it was a really great experience.
I know that you and I have discussed a lot of things over the last 2 years. And I want you to talk a little bit about your business and how you use your current role with your own business and working with criminal attorneys, because that's something CenterPoint does not offer. So those that are watching, if you are a med mal or PI attorney, you can definitely work with Beth through CenterPoint Consulting. If you're a criminal attorney, I highly recommend that you look up Beth. She is phenomenal at what she does. So Beth, tell us a little bit about what that looks like.
As a forensic nurse examiner, clinically, I respond to sexual assault, non-fatal strangulation cases, child abuse, elder abuse, just assault cases in general. The hospital system I work for has a level 2 trauma center, so we do get some trauma cases that are criminally related. And as far as working with criminal attorneys, the thing that I would say is that my background and just my education in general, I utilize my critical thinking skills. When I review cases, I look at the records and the facts and what I can prove or not prove from the facts in front of me. I don't make any decisions, obviously, about whether the person is guilty or try to get them off. As some people ask me, how do you do criminal defense? I respond and testify and react to the records that are in front of me. I watch videos, I look at medical records, I look at police cam, I look at, police records, all these things to kind of put together the story, the explanation of what occurred. The big thing is looking at the injuries that the photos may show or that the medical records may show, test results, imaging results, and comparing those to the explanation, and do those match up? Are there mitigating circumstances? Does the person, one or the other, whether it is the alleged suspect or the alleged victim, do they have medical conditions, or are they on medications that might have contributed to these injuries? Do these injuries, look like they were in the time frame of how things were explained? Looking at those kind of things and making sure that all matches up, or how it doesn't match up, can help the attorney on either side of the case with whatever they're looking at.
Give us an example of how many cases you've done behind the scenes, you've worked on behind the scenes, versus how much testifying experience you have.
I'd say there's behind the scenes, because I also do a lot of other types of stuff. I would say I probably do more behind the scenes than anything, or even my expert cases end up not testifying. They settle out, they take plea deals, different things happen. So out of the 500 plus cases I've worked in one fashion or another, I have testified 5 times. A couple of assault cases, a federal civil case, and some DHS related child abuse cases. They just have settled out. I write reports, and sometimes that helps the attorney work on a plea deal or helps the case settle. Once they see kind of what the expert is going to say in a testimony, then, sometimes I think 98% of cases probably settle or plea.
You have been a legal nurse consultant for approximately 2 to 3 years. Is that about right?
I started my business in 2018. I had my first case in 2019, and then I didn't have another case for a year. And then I really started once I left my school nursing job right after the height of COVID in 2021. And my hospital job, then I really started looking for opportunities, and that was about 2021. So about 3 years, a little over 3 years.
Okay. So because you are building your own business, working a lot with, child abuse cases, et cetera, and then also doing subcontracting to build your business, what would you say to nurses that are looking to getting into legal nurse consulting? What are some of your takeaways and things that you've learned?
I would say be open to any opportunity. I learned how to do medical cost projections, reasonableness of charges, so that I could get the experience. I was open to those opportunities, open to subcontracting, learning how to do different reports, from, each contractor typically has a template or a way that they want things done. So being flexible, learning how to do all of those different things and not closing myself off to any opportunities.
How much of your business would you say right now is subcontracting versus having your independent practice? And what do you think are the pros and cons of each?
I would say probably right now it's about 85% subcontracting, probably 15% solo cases. I'm not very good at marketing myself, and I've become very happy with subcontracting. One of the pros to subcontracting is not having to market yourself as much, and having the contractor then deals with getting the records for you. They are the ones, doing the invoicing and billing with the attorney. They're the initial point of contact. So you're not having to fight for those cases. You have a contractor who then seeks you out or, knows your experience and looks for you for a case as opposed to yourself looking for cases, which I do a little bit.
Well, I know, Beth, that you are a complete gem, and I am concerned after this podcast goes out of everyone stealing you from CenterPoint. So if you do have med mal or PI cases and you would like someone such as Beth, who has a vast array of experience, know that she is one of my main nurse professionals to go to assist on cases here at CenterPoint. And if you are criminal defense attorney or prosecutor and interested in working some abuse cases with Beth, why don't you just give a little pitch here, the best way that they can get in touch with you and what you offer?
Sure. Whether it's prosecution, plaintiff, or defense, I've done both sides of the case. Like I said, I focus on the records. So I have looked for different mitigating circumstances and evaluating injuries and things like that, whether it's child abuse, elder abuse, physical abuse. I've even done DUIs, homicide, sexual assault, strangulation, all of those things. I do enjoy that, looking at and trying to evaluate if it's consistent with the story and how those injuries occurred. You can reach me. I have a website. It's brantlnc.com, BRANTLNC, like legal nurse consultant.com. You can reach me there or via my email, which is beth@brantlnc.com, or my phone. You can text, call, and that number is 614-270-1930.
Beth, give us one last parting word for legal nurse consultants and give us one parting word for attorneys.
Legal nurse consultants, if you are interested in pursuing this, I think that subcontracting is a great way to go. You learn a lot. You meet a lot of different people, get a lot of different experiences. Jackie is great to work for, so you can certainly try to contact her through her website and try to link up with her and see if she has any opportunities for you. There's a lot of different subcontracting opportunities out there. If you aren't necessarily comfortable in the limelight and don't want to pursue your own solo cases. Attorneys, same thing. Jackie's great to work with. She has a lot of experience herself. She has people who also work for her, such as myself, who have a ton of different experience and have great things to offer.
Well, Beth, here's to you marketing yourself and for this going majorly viral because you are a hidden gem. I am so glad that you reached out to me 2 years ago and that we have worked so many cases together. And I wish you the best of luck with building your business.
Thank you, Jackie. It's been a pleasure being here. It's been a pleasure to work for you.
Thank you. And that concludes another episode of the CenterPoint podcast. And we hope that you will stay tuned for the next episode next month.
Thanks for watching. Be sure to hit that like and subscribe button and leave us a review in the comments.